Welcome. My name is Chief Master Sergeant Chris Nichols, and I'll be the officiant for today's ceremony. I would ask that you please silence your cell phones at this time until the conclusion of the ceremony. We're gathered together to celebrate the life and mourn the passing of our beloved friend and family member, Cornelious Scotty Bottomley. I'll begin by reading the security force's prayer, which describes the vocation that Scotty devoted to his professional life experience. Please have your guided. Lord, you have called us to be guardians of a nation founded on your principles. Whatever our tasks as security force men and women, we do them to serve you and our nation. We are proud to accept the responsibility of this high calling. We dedicate ourselves to our vocation and ask for guidance and courage in aiding our people to live with dignity and safety and peace. We know true security comes from your presence, so we pray with the psalmist. You bless those who obey you, Lord. Your love protects them like a shield. Use us, O Lord, as shields for your people, reflecting your security and peace. Scotty's obituary reads as follows. Cornelious Walter Bottomley, Jr., known to most as Scotty, passed away the evening of January 7th, 2021. Scotty was born in Farmville, Virginia, to Sandra Jean Sutton and Cornelious Walter Bottomley, Sr. on February 27th, 1971. After graduating high school, Scotty joined the Air Force in 1989, then went on to join the National Guard in 2001. Scotty served his country for 23 years, and in April of 2018, he retired as a Master Sergeant from the Montana Air National Guard. Scotty was respected and celebrated by those he served with. His magnitude of friendship made during his service carried with him after his retirement. Scotty married Naomi Lenny Stewart in 1993 and welcomed their first daughter, Megan Bottomley, in 1995. In 1996, their daughter, Brittany Alexander. They spent 20 wonderful years together. Though Scotty and Naomi separated, they easily maintained a genuine close friendship. The great outdoors called to Scotty. He spent his time riding motorcycles, boating, fishing, and being with friends. Any excuse for Scotty to be outside was the best excuse. When, as he would say, the shitty Montana weather was. Scotty was always game for boat rides on the lake, riding his motorcycle up muddy hills, and celebrating the 4th of July by lighting off the biggest fires. Scotty later met and became engaged to Diane. Diane's son, Evan, quickly became Scotty's son. Anyone who knew Scotty knew he loved spending every moment with his family. His family consisted not only of his 2 daughters, but of so many friends that were like family. He was always ready to attend any dinner, game night, holiday gathering, or a night with his family. His family was his life. There was never any question Scotty was the best friend anyone could ask for. He was loved by everyone who met him. His kindness and giant heart were infectious. Every fall, you could find Scotty cheering on his beloved Dallas Cowboys and competing competing against his friends in one of his many fantasy football leagues, which he proudly won the championship in 2017. I would also include mentioning that his winning of the Top Shot Award for marksmanship and being named honor graduate when he attended the Air Force's firearms instructor course. I know that he's very proud of it. At this time, Scotty's daughter Megan would like to share an epistle she wrote for the display.
With any problem or worry, and he always made me feel better. He took me in at any time with open arms. I will always remember his laugh and his smile. He had the greatest sense of humor and made everyone laugh. There are no words to describe what my dad meant to me and everyone around him. He was the best dad and grandfather anyone could ever ask for. I will miss him with all of my heart for the rest of my life, and I feel absolutely blessed for every moment I was able to spend with him. I'll never be able to explain what an amazing, loving human being you were. I wish you were still here, but until I see you again, I love you, Dad.
I will now read the sentiment shared by Scotty's daughter Brittany. No words I can say will ever do my dad justice, but I'll try. The relationship that my sister, dad, and I had is something that most daughters will never be so fortunate to have. In the past few years, we were lucky enough to add a brother to our family too. I can confidently say that no son or daughter has ever been so blessed to have a father like ours. I can't count the inside jokes and laughs and shares. Every time our family was together, the house was filled with laughter. There was nothing that I couldn't tell him. He gave his unconditional love to not only me, but my husband too. He did so much for us and for everyone else. I wish I would have thanked him more for the house he now called. Scotty is survived by his mother, Sandra Jean Watson, his father, Cornelious Bottomley Sr., his daughter Megan Bottomley, his fiance, Scotty, and their children, Hudson and Kate. His daughter Brittany Alexander and her husband Jeremy. His sister April Phillips and her husband Jeremy, and their children Monica Allen and Tyler Phillips. His sister Jacqueline Slutsky and her husband Don and their children. Cody Dispinetti, Sierra Jeffries, Ella Sweetie, and Ellie Sweetie. His sister, Jessica Bottomley Tackett, and her son Wyatt. His aunt, Amy Sloan, and her husband David, and their children, Whitney Graham, Katie Sloan, and Andrew Sloan. His uncle, Joseph Sutton, and his wife, Kelly, and daughter, Jessica Dean, and his aunt, Ann Sutton, and her children, Bridget and Kyle. So the obituary that I just read is synopsis of Scotty's life. It's hard to use the word synopsis and Scotty in the same sentence. The word that I think easily applied to Scotty is big. A big heart, big adventures, whether it's on the racetrack or the many deployments that he volunteered for. Big sympathy for those in need. A big laugh, and an even bigger and very distinctive giggle. A big smile, a big personality, and big love for his family and friends. A resounding sentiment that I'm sure you all hear about and or you witness for yourself is the true kindness and generosity of Scotty Bottomley. Scotty always had time for people. He would help them and care for them with complete selflessness. A personal example of this is when I had to school 9 months up here in Great Falls on a tour. And not only did Scotty agree to house me while I was here, but we actually got into an argument because he didn't want to accept rent from me. In his kitchen arguing about whether I'm going to pay him rent for 9 months or let him in his house. Eventually, we both conceded, gave a little way each way, by me paying his utilities, but that was a marginal expense. I think he only agreed to that just to make you feel. And stop there. Scotty was about one of the easiest people to befriend, and he was a friend to me. His caring was truly exemplified in the love and affection he showed for his family. They were the At this time, I would like to ask you to share memories and feelings for anyone that wishes. We'll share anything you like, joyful or somber. I would like to start and hopefully get a smile out of someone. So I wasn't sure what story to tell. I was torn between a story of Scotty's fine dancing ability. You might end up having to believe about that for someone else. Or his fierce competitive nature. So I'm going to go with the competitive nature one and how tough Scotty was. As I got told the story to girls last night. And, anyways, after I left and I was driving, I got to thinking about Scotty coming into my office about 20 times throughout a day because I got a little basketball hoop thing in the office and grabbing this little foam basketball and taking them shots and they're bouncing off my head and hitting my keyboard, but he'd just keep going until he finally made that shot and then he'd go back to work. So, you know, he loved sports. So, we were in Alabama on a deployment, and we were playing what's called combat football. So, for those of you that aren't in the military, combat football is simply a version of football where the rules are a little vague or in the gray area, and there's really nothing that counts as a foul. So Scotty was receiving for his team, and I was covering Scotty. So Scotty's a pretty good catcher. So pretty much every time that ball went in the air, I'd push him or I'd hit him. I wouldn't wait for him to catch the ball. In regular football, that's so fast. So Scotty was legitimately starting to get frustrated and mad at me. Nickel, you can at least let me catch the ball before you hit me. So, anyways, we regained possession of the ball, and I'm the quarterback for our team. And the guy that usually was trying to rush me, well, Scotty just walks up, puts his hand out of the way, says, I got this. I can see it in his eyes. I am about to get hit. And not hit just a little bit. I'm going to get hit hard. So, when you're playing with just a bunch of guys, we were doing that 1,000 count for rushing. I'm supposed to wait till 1,005 before we get rushing the quarterback. Well, I got the ball in my hand. I'm running back. Got that ball cocked. Scotty says, I can see it. He's going to kill me. 1,001, 1,002. I don't even think he made it. 1,005. I'm thinking about it, but here he comes, like a freight train at me. So, out of pure survival, what did anybody do? I took that ball and I threw it at his head as hard as I could. Hit him square in the face, and he dropped like a bag of rocks. And then, once again, out of pure survival, I turned around and ran like the devil was on my heels. Scotty got up. Scotty tried to catch me. I don't know how far we ran, but it was definitely out of that field, past a few buildings. Finally, because I already had a good lead, is Scotty gave up, and he walks back to where we were playing, and I'm keeping a great big gap in between him and me. And he just looks at me and he's like, "That's messed up." I'm like, "Scotty, that was self-defense." And then as I told that story last night, say how tough he was, Naomi reminded me, I even kind of forgot about this, so later on in the game, Scotty gets hit pretty hard, and he goes, "Nichols, I think I broke my finger." I go, "Well, let me come take a look at it." Pull his hand out like this, and his pinky finger is 90 degrees the wrong way. I mean, it looked like something out of a movie. It was 90 degrees, poking out this way. And I'm like, "Well, Scotty, you want me to take care of that for you?" He's like, "Yep." Sticks his hand out, give it a yank, pop right back in place. I don't necessarily know that it healed perfectly, but popped it back into place. And what does Scotty do? "Okay, let's get back in the game. Let's play ball." If there's anyone else who would like to share a story.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Scotty's aunt. Scotty just wasn't my nephew, but he was one of my best friends. When I first met him, Scotty had just turned 15. And believe it or not, he was littler than me. He didn't stay that way long, and we immediately quit. I've never met anyone that didn't immediately fall in love with him. He was one of those kind of people that attracted all types of people, and we always wanted to hang out with him. At least I did. I have tons of great memories with him, and I'd like to share just a few. When he was a boy, he never went to the first day of school and the first day of deer season. He spent that day in the woods with his granddaddy, hoping to land that 30-point buck. My husband Joe restored a 1967 Barracuda for me, and he went it at Scotty's driveway. So one afternoon, me and him took it out for a spin, and once we got down the roadway, I pulled over to let him drive. I told him to hit it, and we'd see what she could do. We were both holding on for dear life when it hit 140 miles an hour. We called it good, And Joey still doesn't know anything about that. We were going to a big throwdown one night at a guy named Jimmy Wood's house. And Scotty and I both told Joey, "Don't worry, Uncle Joe, we got this. We're going to stay straight and drive you home. We'll get us all there safe." Well, one thing led to another. And needless to say, at the end of the night, Joey had me under one arm, Scotty under the other. He reminds us of that for years to go to come, but he had to carry us out of there. But we failed. When I would wash dishes at the house, he would stand next to me and just talk my ear off. I'd get to that last dish, put it in the water, and he would say, "Can I help you with that?" When he retired from the Air Force, where Naomi and I made him clean out his refrigerator. There were green and purple things growing in there. And he tries to explain to us what they are and why he should keep them. We made him throw out all his really good experiments. Some of the things Scotty loved, in no particular order. Beer. Music. He was a true lover of music, anything from Tom Petty to John Carter to Run DMC. He knew all the words. He liked fast cars. He gained that from his Uncle Billy. He was a football fan, a true Cowboy fan, and I don't know where he got that from. Lack of taste. He preferred beer, ice cold. The F word, or any cuss word. Motorcycles, video games, his girls, his grandbaby, Dick. And did I mention beer? I am heartbroken that I will never hear him say, "I love you," again. I am devastated I will never have an hour phone conversation with him again, and anyone who knows him understands how difficult that was. I am at a loss on why I'm here, and he is not. He will always be my soddy hope. Take that corner on two wheels, and Papa really met me. Friend and confident. I will never get over losing him. I will never stop loving him. It was a privilege and an honor and a blessing to have him in my life the last 34 years. I'm in Scotty's family. Not by blood, but by life. Life happens to them. And from the first time Scott came to our house, it was such a wonderful time. And so he became my house visits. Scott was the most kindly, helpful, funniest person in life. Oh, he just moves me crazy with his twists and turns. He could hardly have been such a cute and simple. of the hardest things in life is to bury your children when you can't. No. Was a real pleasure to have had Scotty in our life. And I'm grateful for him. And always for him. You were blessed with him. Now a little bit on the lighter side. We're making this about 5 years old. I came phone call from his job in Bottomley. This Cornelious and he said, no. Is Scotty here? And she said, yeah, he's right here. Of course, a long time before having knew he's still here. But I know that I want to see. I really love Scotty. He came up here with me. And he's faithful and faithful, and I really have my heart and help. Scotty's sister, Jacqueline. Scotty was someone that people describe to me. He's sincere. Off his back. He was very hard. He was sincere. As a girl, I followed him. I just wanted to be close to him. If he was at home, I was really next to him. My mom must have drove him nuts. Scotty, the bond of friendship and the band of brothers that Scotty had here was like nothing I've ever seen. He loved you all deeply. And I know that he was deep in your heart. We've seen sincere devotion and camaraderie. I want to thank you for loving my brother and enriching his life with you. One of the last times I saw Scotty, we stayed up all night talking on your couch. It was one of the deepest conversations I'd ever had with my brother. We talked about our fears and regrets, and our deepest joy and thoughts and accomplishments. And I hear from you. You girls were so self-discouraged. He was so very proud of you. I realized now that that time you were having with him was a gift from God. Well, time and distance have never dulled the love I had for my brother. It has only strengthened it. My heart is broken. In time of this know I'll not recover from this lifetime. But there's one thing I am confident in. I'll see you again, brother. Until then, take a piece of my heart. In my life, I have attended many things. And the saddest thing to say is that the majority of them to so many younger than me people that have not had the time that they needed in this life. But it's not for us to say when our time is. I remember the first time that I met Scotty. My daughter never brought anybody home, and then she brought Scotty. And it was to tell us that he was going to get married. And he was going to go to her father and ask him if he could marry her. I remember how scared Naomi was. Because the first words that came out of Dan, her dad's mouth, were, "Come on, Scotty, let's go for a walk." And Scotty didn't seem to mind. But Naomi goes, oh no, no, Dad, you're not taking Scotty for a walk. Where are you going? And I remember she stood in the window, hanging on, and just looking out to see where they were walking, where they were going. And she goes, if he talks him out of marrying me, I am not going to be happy. So they walked up the hill, long walk, walked back down the hill, and everything seemed to be okay. And I said to Naomi a couple days later, I said, so what did Scotty say about the talk? And he said, I can understand your dad. Because if I ever had a daughter, I would want the same thing. I want to know that those men will take care of my daughters. Scotty loved his bikes. And I remember Megan was so little and she had a bike. And she competed. And Scotty was excited. And our backyard became a track. They moved earth, they got tractors, they got everything. They made mounds, they made jumps, they made everything. The big blue house. Scotty never turned down a job and asked a question. Naomi would stand here, Scotty would stand here, Naomi would say, that's okay, Scotty and I'll take care of that and we'll get it done. And Scotty would stand behind her. He had a talent, he could roll his eyes better than anybody I know. And then there you go. We had many dinners, many family get-togethers, and a lot of times Scotty wasn't there. Because he never let the boys on the hill down. If they needed an extra man, if they needed somebody to take their place for a night or an evening, a day or a week, Scotty volunteered. He told me no. And his mother thinks his mother, but he was one of my kids. He just doesn't have to.
I'm a senior master, retired senior master in charge. I'm going to talk on behalf of the military individuals in the room here. I know they're struggling to find a story that's appropriate for women and children with Scotty. So I have one that, this was back in, I think it was it was late 90s, I believe. Cowboys were in the playoffs, and I'm from Missoula. I had to travel all the way to Missoula, so I'm gonna miss the game. And Scotty, he said, "Hey, let's go at halftime and go to my house and watch the second half of the game." I said, "Okay." So we went to Scotty's house, and two girls there were there, and his wife. And then we sat down, and of course, Scotty grabbed a beer, and I sat there, and we started watching the game. And I believe it was the youngest daughter. Youngest daughter comes up, and she comes right, I'm in the game. That's I wore the hat on behalf of Scotty. We're both indulged in this Cowboys game, and she comes up right in front of me and she goes, "You a Cowboys fan?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And she looks at me, gives me the stare, and she goes over to Scott and she goes, "He can stay then, right, Dad?" And I looked over, and of course I thought about this, and I'm like, I think I was about to get kicked out. I did not say I was a Cowboys fan. But that was a story I remember with Scotty. I remember when he joined the Guard, and he showed me his tattoo on his calf and everything. And Scotty worked for me with Cadam, and it was always funny because we used to make fun of him when he would do a class with that Virginia accent. And I would always tell the guys, we will have an interpreter here to interpret what Scotty has to say. We love Scotty like no other.
It's been hard. But it's days of my life. Each day I want to text and ask me, ready for this? This is something we do together. I got a whole list of stuff here, but everybody said, it's like we all sat together and wrote out these things for the big guys. And that was just, I always said he was the one around here after somebody that was born like 30 years too late, because he was just like my grandpa. Everybody else's grandpa, he would never get mad, he'd never yell. He'd just sit down there and sit on the edge of the couch. He was so good to my kids. We'd go camping and boating and fishing just to relax. He was more of a chore for him, I think. My kids were just dragging around the boat. They would just sit in the back of the boat with a fishing pool with a foam hook. We'd sit back there for hours with their blowing up and catching fish, but we would just sit there.
So I said, grab the pontoon, grab the thing, had a rope on it. He'd go to the edge of Scotty, got to hold it the whole time. He'd grab it. He'd bouncing in the water, getting wet. Life will never be the same without him. So I didn't want to discipline him. I'm a better person for no one, Scotty. I think he made everybody better people. Whenever you go camping, we bought this pretty big ass motor. It had to be like 65 feet long. Whenever we went, we would always get to the truck first. We'd always be sitting in the dash and get the beer. He never said he couldn't drive, but I always thought that he couldn't. I hated that I had to drive every time I would drink beer. There was a time a couple years ago when we still had that thing. For some reason we had to drive. I think I had to pull a boat or something. And it's a second campground. There's some tiny camp spots back there. I was trying to find a place to park my truck in the boat so that I could go up and park this thing in the spot, tiny spot. We folded it around and backed it in the very first time perfectly, like he was a retired truck driver. I said, Scotty, what the shit was that? And he got out and he just goes. He said, I never said I couldn't drive. I just don't like to. I don't know what it's like when we just him talking. So we're going to do what we can for each other and just stay close.
Tom Bauer, long time guard member with Scotty. I'll never forget the day I met Scotty, his first guard drill. There's been a lot of people who've already alluded to the fact that Scotty liked his beer. Scotty showed up for first guard drill, didn't know him, didn't know who he was. He shows up, and it was probably Trowbridge. Said, I was the NCOC in my shop, and yeah, he says, you're checking. So, okay. So I put my arm around Scotty, got closer, I'm like, okay, that's it. And we were supposed to go out to the range, guns. So I'm thinking, what can we do? So I said, Scotty, can you stay back and get everything ready to go for tomorrow? We've got a big day tomorrow. And Scotty's like, yeah, sure. So I worked with Scotty for probably, I guess probably 15 years more, and that never happened again. He did like his beer, and when he drank it, he drank it. But never showed up as a guard drill like that again for me anyway, so I was thankful for that. But everything that people have said about Scotty, so true. Biggest heart, great instructor. So Scotty, till we meet again. I love you.
Dale, and I met Scotty in 1993, and I was sitting back there, and I wasn't going to come up and tell a story until Tom Bauer did. And the reason I had to is because the night before Scotty's first guard drill, he went to our Christmas party. I I knew him from
Finally, the truth.
I knew him from active duty, and so my brother and I were there, and we fed him a lot of drinks, and then Sweet Home Alabama came on, and it was all over. And the next day he showed up for our grill, and that's that story. And I'm responsible. I have a lot of Scotty stories. I just wanted to share a couple with you. One involves Tom and Dave and another friend of ours, Jimmy Johnson. We all went turkey hunting. So we went down to eastern Montana and we were turkey hunting. And somebody, I'm not sure, who had taken some tear gas from the old tear gas tube. We had a couple of tablets of tear gas, and so we're all that night standing around the campfire, and that tear gas found its way into the campfire. I mean, it was bad. And it's Scotty standing downwind, and that tear gas is just hitting him. I mean, stuff's coming out of his eyes, his nose. He didn't even move. I think most of us were in on it except for Scotty. He just stood there, and he said, he was drinking a beer. That smells like tear gas. Finally said, Scotty, you got to get out of there. You've been there for 10 minutes. Killed an average person. That was a great hunting trip. Somebody got lost on that hunting trip. I'll tell you that story later. Maybe Dave can tell it to you. The other memory that's really fond in my heart, and I don't mean this just to be funny, but it really illustrates who Scotty was to me, was when he applied the first time to be an AGR. And I was sitting on the board, and Scotty didn't even have any uniforms yet because he had separated from active duty, then he had a break in service, and then he was coming back into the Guard, and right away applied to be an AGR. He had an opening, and he applied, and he borrowed a suit from somebody. I think a brother-in-law. Is that right, Naomi? And it was quite the suit. I mean, it was, just if you can imagine Scotty in a suit, it was pretty comical. So he met this interview board, and of course we're all in our service dress, and Scotty comes in. Of course, it's a battery of questions. But the question that just always sticks out to me is, he said, what skills and attributes are you going to bring to this position? And most guys, they're going to rattle off their laundry list, their resume, and Scotty sat there, and I remember him saying, I'm a pretty good mechanic. I can fix your vehicles. And we all just thought, because we're not mechanics, but that's who Scotty was. I mean, he's like, whatever you need. I can fix your vehicles. I can do whatever you want. And a lot of people have said that, but that was Scotty's part. Is I can do that. And Darren, you said it, and you took the words right out of my mouth as I said that there. I'm a better person because of Scotty. He truly made me a better person. Towards the end of my career, I got pretty resentful, maybe not as friendly, and Scotty was the one guy, one or two of the guys that I knew that would come in and say, why are you being such a jerk? What's wrong with you? What are you, and most people don't do that. But Scotty would come in and lay it on the line and tell you the truth. And that, I'll always carry that close to my heart. That made me a better person.
I'm Dave Crowder, Chief up the security now, and I get to work with Scotty for 4 years. I wasn't going to say anything, but when Dale brought up the hunting story, I did say this was Scotty's life. They were headed directly as far away from camp as they could go. And I hiked back, beat the horn, and they heard the horn, picked up, and I said, yeah. But I'm going to tell you a story. And Scotty and I, a team of us went to Portland, Oregon, before the first off, we're probably cousins because I actually West Virginia, we're in Portland, Oregon, on a TUI, temporary duty location, a bunch of defenders over there. And as you know, we'll go TUI and a friend of ours that Scotty and I could serve with, duty was actually lived in Oregon. So we met up, and Scotty, I know you know where you're at. He hated this story, and I rarely told it when he was apprentice. He would get pretty physical with me. We're at this bar. We're sitting there just having beer, listening to some music. It's kind of a country bar where people are out there doing the line dancing and dancing with each other and things. And this, we're sitting there having a beer. Scotty just decides to go out and dance. And as we talked earlier, his dancing and he goes out, and one of his favorite songs comes on, and he's out there just dancing, having a good time, and then I just go home and holy smokes, he's like, and here one of the bouncers comes over to him, and he's like, "Sir, is that your buddy out there?" "Yes, it is." And he says, "Is he also type in love? Or is he, or is he special needs or something? You know, what's going on with him?" And I said, "Yes, he is." Scotty comes back over, and we had a beer, and I told him that story, but he was so mad. But I really, I think I told that story 2 or 3 times. But he was a brother. With a good witness. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ben. I was 9.5 years. I was Scotty's parent. He was a military. And he was a wonderful person. I remember we had an opportunity to deploy the squadron. We sent out a very large team. And we were working nights in the deployed location. And Scotty was in charge of vehicle maintenance. One morning early, about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, I was driving the truck and under the influence of some other senior NCOs, master sergeants, sitting in the vehicle with me. And we got that truck stuck in a mud hole. And I thought, great, the squadron commander got the truck stuck, and we can hear back the rest of his career. We couldn't get the truck out, and so we called Scotty. He was back on base, and he brought a Humvee out and some chains. He hooked up on that truck and jerked the out of the mud. He didn't say anything about it either. He didn't remind me of that the rest of the time that I was working with him. But that's who Scotty is. He's a winner. As a commander, you're not always popular. Sometimes you have to make decisions that aren't well received. Sometimes you'll hear about it through the grapevine, what people think of what you've said or done. And I never once heard anything from Scotty that was negative about anything we were going to do in school. And that truly puts him in a very, very small population of people. He was genuine, he was a friend through and through, he was honest, he would support you. And while he's not here with us anymore, those attributes are things that I have internalized, and I hope that I display to others now, because Scotty demonstrated it. For those of you who haven't known me, my name is Cornelious. I used to work with Scotty. Several positions throughout my career. I've got 9 girls since they were new hire at the last office.
Scotty's my best friend. I always considered him to be my best friend. I'm not really good at real quick about everything. We tell a lot of really funny stories about Scotty, but most people say they're not exactly believe it. That's not who Scotty was. Scotty was what you see, what you get. Fortunately for Scotty, I'm doing opposite. I don't know anything. You could say a lot of things every day, but I don't think very many people are going to get up and say that about me. One of my earliest recollections of Scotty involves retired Chief Master Junker. He told me one time, hey man, every time I do something, let's go out to my brother's house. Let's get a place out for the bench and we can shoot it. I'll meet you, tell her to find, and I'll meet you in the block. We get out to his brother JP's place. We're out back, tearing it up. We've got some targets and some rounds left to shoot. Pretty soon we're loading and JP goes, hey, check this out. Here's a weapon safety. Here comes Scotty. He's got a flip-flop, cut-off shorts, tank top. He pulls up in a stereotypical Camaro, I think is what he had back then. He's climbing a barbed wire fence with a gun in one hand and a figure in the other. Looks like something off the comedy channel. And he goes, yeah. JP goes, yep, there's a weapon safety video there. And it's Scotty. But I'm out there to do it up. I could stand up here and talk about him all day. There's 1,000 stories about Scotty, but I did it. I went through a really bad time. And pretty much the only, I would say, and plenty of other guys helped me too. I would say the only reason I could get out of bed and go to work every single day is because I knew for that 4-day cycle I would be working this whole week. And we would cut up and we would kind of forget about how crappy my life was. I can never forget them for it.
I don't like these talking about it, but I kind of wanted to get to something else a little different. The things that come to mind for Scotty is humility, he was confident, he was just a good person. But the thing that hits that I didn't really get from anybody was, have you ever seen him pissed?
Yeah.
So, I was a young airman and we were out there and I have no idea where Naomi was, I don't know where the girls were. I think, well, it was kind of a haze anyways, because he liked to ride dirt bikes and drink, and that's what he did a lot. And anyway, so the girls were gone and Naomi was gone, and it was that trailer house he was sitting on. And we're sitting there having a beer right after we made a lap, and he goes, you know, I need to get off the skirting off that trailer house out there. And I said, let's do that tomorrow. He goes, there's bees in there. And I said, so? We'll just do it real quick. So the next day we go out there, we make a couple laps, have a couple beers, make a couple laps, have a couple beers. And I looked at him and I said, let's go. He goes, no, I don't really want to do that. I said, come on, get over here, let's go do that. So we're walking over there, and there is bees swarming everywhere. And I get over next to the corner, and I said, are you ready? And he goes, I don't want to do this. This is not a good idea. And I said, stop being a... Yeah. And he was very competitive. So he stands over there. He takes his beer, he finishes his beer, sets it down, and both of us are sitting there talking up and down. And I said, you better run like hell. I get over there, I pull the corner off of that thing, I've never seen so many bees in my entire life. Every one of those bees, they stung me probably, 6, 8 times. They stung him. He was going backwards, tumbled back, 8, 10 times. We were all the way out on the track by the time we got away from the bees. He was so pissed at me for doing that. But even then, he was still a good company. The next day, we had bee stings all over us, and the next day I remember saying, what in the name is going on with you two? Because both of us are walking around with bee stings, and he was, every time we walked by, rolling his eyes, he'd roll his eyes, and every time he looked at me, he'd roll his eyes, because he got a couple of them right in the armpit. So for about 3 or 4 days, that was pretty, anyways, but a different side of Scotty is that every once in a while you see him get upset.
My name is Jason Henches. I know Scotty through my dad, Brian Henches. And I can't count the number of times Dad would come home, we had dinner, late, he'd go, "Was he beat up with Scotty today?" And we were like, "Oh, Scotty's story, this is going to be good." As everyone said, he was a linguist, and he's the colorful language, so I've been thinking, how can I share my favorite Scottyism with little ears? So, of all the stories my dad shared, and all the times we were drinking beers and talking with my dad, the one that stuck with me most when he said it, was one of this line of strength and that one. You'd much rather fornicate a bobcat than mess with me. That's the one that sticks in my head.
Tell you what, Scotty was a great guy. We drove to work together 5, 6 years. He had a Honda, I had a Buick. He'd say, that Buick ain't gonna go through that snow. Of course, the snow. Let's get as far as we can, we have to walk less. He was amazing. I was Buick. But what I thought my son was going to say, we were all sitting on the patio one day, and I heard the sound like this, and I followed him. And I looked out the end of my driveway, and it appeared to be a motorcycle. That went, and I'm like, so we're riding to work the next day, and I said, some crazy SOB went by my house last night, he had to be doing 100 miles an hour. He kind of his head for a second, he goes, 154. And I said, do you seriously need to tell me you were doing 154 miles an hour down First Road South? Well, yeah. I said, if an ant took a crap on the road, you're going to wipe out. Well, them bikes got big brakes. He got rid of that bike pretty quick after that, didn't he? That's the one he popped the wheelie on when you were in the back of it? That was the same night? The story was he waited till he got off, took his helmet off, and slapped the... I tell you what, people talking about brothers, I got 5 brothers. I just lost a brother. I see John Foreman there. He's got him down to the region. We love looking good. We love going to work every night.
I lost touch. I'm sorry that I did. The local bank, the one right around the corner anymore. Exactly what you said. I need some firewood cut. Well, hell, we cut that fire. Didn't you come out and help us get firewood? And the only beer I had was like 4 years old. And you said, out there. You opened it up and it was like making bread. I messed with it.
One word describes Scotty was genuine. He was genuinely joyful. And he would hate this. He would hate everyone really knew talking about him. Because Scotty was a hate. He would love you. I do not think everyone the company road and journey. I cannot think he's doing purposely everything that they have done for my girls and making this easy to help this is possible. You guys make more than you. Doing such a close to good. I know Scotty wouldn't want this because Scotty didn't want his retirement. It was a fight. He was not going to have a retirement CD. The memory that I will share, and I want everyone to know as they walk into this place. And when Scotty retired, we were going to be and he was still happy. He knew that you guys were going to lie in the street. And he did not want to drive off that race. He waited and waited and waited. And as we drove off that race, and then I said, you broke down in tears. I thought he was going to make it. For someone, he did make it out. He's written.
I'd like to thank everyone for sharing. Those are all wonderful stories, and we all love Scotty. I know even if you didn't speak today, or if you did, everyone said was many memories of the time that we got to spend and share with them. The families compiled some of their memories they would like to share with everyone that has been here today.
At this time, the Montana Air National Guard Honor Guard will present Master Sergeant Bottomley's family with the flag of the United States of America. A symbol of gratitude for his service to our country. During the playing of taps, I would ask that the audience please stand and render the proper courtesy of a final salute to Master Sergeant Bottomley, or by placing your hand over your heart.
Please be seated. The reception will be held immediately following the ceremony at the Eagles Lodge Club, located at the rear of 1501 9th Street South. The Eagles Club will allow customers to bring food if anyone would like to contribute. This is a cash business only, and there is an ATM machine. At this time, the family will now be escorted to the receiving line at the exit of the building. Please wait until they depart before exiting your seats. On behalf of the Bottomley family, I thank you for attending, and I wish you the very best.